Hey, welcome to the what?
Countdown show. Oh, what's going on, partner?
Man, welcome to another episode of Trash Talk Countdown Show. Been gone for a few, but we back again. Shine's back in the building. Part co-host. Myself, Bobby, in the building, talking about some Fury versus Wilder 3. What else we got on the slate tonight, man?
USC 267 is creeping around the corner. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Talk about some fantasy football, cause don't call it a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. Don't call it a comeback.
Man, so let's get into it, man. Let's the first topic of the day, man. Fury versus Wilder 3, man. That was a very interesting fight last night, man. I'm telling you right now, man. I was real highly intrigued, man. Highly intrigued, man. Fury showed the same thing he always showed. He's a great boxer, but Wilder showed some things that we have never seen before, and he's been fighting for a long, extended period of time, man. So over 43 fights, man, that's a long time to be fighting, and finally show something a little different, and he actually won some rounds too, man. But let's get into it, man. Hey, Shine,
Yeah.
Shine Barnes. What was your overall thoughts about this fight last night?
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So here's it. So I said it on Facebook earlier. I'm gonna throw 5 minutes up on the clock. Let's go and don't get into it. I,
Throw it on now.
I said it on Facebook earlier. This is the third fight, right? Number three. And before it even started, I still had that like it's that big fight goosebump feeling whenever, they were coming out in whatever this intro that they had going on in the beginning that they had. And I'm just sitting here, I'm just like, I'd be damned if I ain't excited about this third fight again.
Yeah,
First fight ended in the draw. The second fight was definitive. I thought I'm over here
yeah,
like ain't nothing to see here. Let's go. Then you get Wilder show up. He what 230, 238, looking
yeah,
big,
yeah. He be looking big,
I'm
boy.
like
Looking
okay.
big,
And then you got Fury showed up. He about 270.
boy.
He looking healthy.
Looking fat,
He looking
looking
healthy.
fat. Look like he eat good.
And I'm like, okay, so that's something new. And then you got to keep in mind that uh Wilder fired his head coach and moved to another coach, and we saw the videos. And some of them we were like, why they got him up pulling them like that? And some of them
Yeah,
we were like, all right, maybe we're gonna see something different.
yeah.
And the whole time it got you thinking like, okay, this could be a different fight. This could be a different fight. First round, guess what?
It was a different fight.
It was a whole different fight.
It was a whole different fight, man. It was a whole different fight because the statistics from the first fight is they said that Wilder threw an average of 30 punches each round for the first fight, and then for the second fight, I think the statistics were way down. I think he only threw around 12 to 18 punches. I'm
Yeah.
not for sure off the top of my head, but this fight, you could see that when he came in with the mindset of I gotta throw this jab, I gotta throw something just so I can make sure that Fury is thinking about what I'm going to do next. And he was just when he came out, he threw a lot of jabs to the body, even though half of them didn't even connect. But you could just see that in Fury's head, he's like, "Oh shoot, this is something different." And it took him a little bit to compute it and take the knowledge in of what was going on. But after a while, you could see around 9, 10, 11 that he's already figured Wilder out. And I feel like Wilder got a lot. I feel like that weight didn't stay on him as well as he wanted it to, and it might have fatigued him, as well as Fury just laid on top of him for a minute from time to time, especially when they were hugged up in the corner. The biggest thing for Wilder was he put that 238 or those 12 to 15 pounds on because he wanted to make sure that he can hold that body and actually get his power out of that right hand. But that's a lot of interesting things that went on in this fight, man. So just let's
We
let's
did
get into
you know
to
you
the
know
picture you got up right now.
you know what we did in this
What?
fight?
A lot of living.
We did a lot of living in this fight.
We did a lot of living.
We did a lot of living in this fight. Even no, so not even this particular picture. Let's get back to what you was talking about with Wilder, because I don't want to short sell Wilder at all for this fight. Even though Fury proved to be the better man, he's now doing it twice. And when you say, "Do we want to see a fourth fight?" I don't think it's there.
Nah,
There's
nah,
there's
nah, nah.
there's nothing to see here. We know for a fact that clear cut Fury is number one. But I feel like Wilder proved for a fact that clear cut Wilder is just the number two. He the Daniel Cormier of the
Light heavyweight division,
of the heavyweight division.
light heavyweight division.
No, this is heavyweight.
No, I'm just saying.
I get it.
If you comparing Darren Cormier, the only division where he couldn't beat the top guy
Yeah,
was light heavyweight. He did beat Stipe,
he
but
did.
Stipe came back and knocked him back out.
But I'm saying, he the Daniel Cormier where he just, can't get there.
No,
So with that being said, it's like, but he is. Look, if he goes out there and anybody in his next fight he boxes, and then he hits him with that that bomb squad death threat, it's a wrap.
it is a
We
wrap.
watched him. Who was it? It wasn't an Ortiz. I don't remember who he fought. He stood there for 9 rounds, getting boxed and punched on, so he could throw one punch and knock the dude out square cold. And now he ain't doing that. Man, suckers is going out in the first round. It's a wrap.
Sure. Yeah, because I mean, if you Wilder and you start throwing punches and they start landing, and then all of a sudden this person is thinking about what you're doing, eventually they're going to hit with that right and not even see it coming. Usually you can see that right coming, but you just can't stop it, especially later on in the rounds because you're so
Yeah.
tired. Because
And-
it's one of those things where you're tired and it causes you not to look for something, and then all of a sudden it comes, and all of a sudden you sitting on the ground waking up talking about, so what happened? What happened? What happened? But
and then you end up with this, and then you end up, the controversy with the long count or whatever,
Yeah.
what have you. But you end up with the idea that this man can put anybody down. And you said it when they were fighting. You called and was like, man, he ain't even hit him again.
yeah,
It
he
was
didn't.
about what, 5 seconds before
Yeah.
the lights cut off.
Yeah, his brain was clicking. Was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not good. I'm not good. And then he went to sleep for a second, and then he woke up like, oh shoot, what the hell was that? And then he got up. But I think Wilder in that time, especially at this moment right here, he needs to get out the way.
He
He
got to
needs
get
to
out
get
the
out
way.
the way.
That's the whole
There's a
point.
lot of controversy. There's a lot of controversy with the count in the first fight. Got to get out the way. Got to get out the way. You can celebrate in the corner, but
Neutral
get out the way
corner.
and let my man count to 10. You know what I'm saying? Because you could see that Fury was gone, and it took him a couple seconds to wake up. But when he woke up, he was back. He was back to himself again. It took a little bit to get back to himself. I think it's the 4th round when Wilder hit him with the two knockdowns. I believe if Wilder would have had another 40 seconds, he could have took him out. I don't even think Fury was all the way there when he came back out for the 5th round. But Wilder's conditioning and training got him to the 4th and 5th round. Wilder's conditioning and training didn't take him after that round, because after that round, it seemed like Fury just took it to him, and there was nothing that Wilder could do. He was just holding on for dear life, and finally in round 11, Fury just hit him with a right hook that took him to the upper room for a few minutes, and then he came back to life.
And look, this look like one of them when you start the movie and it be like, "Rrr." I bet you're wondering how I got here, right? See, it all started when I was yelling "Bomb Squad" at this grown man. My man,
Man,
look, the ref called the ref was waving the fight off before Fury hit the ground.
Wilder hit the
I
ground.
mean, before Wilder hit the ground. The ref was
That was
like,
crazy.
I need to catch the dude head. Like, and you look at this picture and you think about the fight and you tell yourself, Fury has no equal.
No.
We'll talk about it in the what's next part,
No,
but Fury has no equal.
no.
But I can't disrespect Wilder at all. To be a old dog, like you were saying, to be an old dog and to go, I need to change.
Yeah.
I need to do something different. And to do it enough and learn it enough, there's a difference between, because we all know this. We all know this. Whenever you're learning a new something, a new technique, you have to practice it 1,000 times before you would even attempt to do it in a high pressure situation. When you get in those high pressure situations, you always revert back to what you know best. So for him to have all of that in the short amount of time that we had, and still go out there and just, hey, look, brand new game plan. I'm a new dude. They tried to do me like they did the Prince, and it worked for somewhat. He still lost, but I mean, the game plan was working. You know what I'm talking about, Prince Nassim.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he had that whole boxing style, and everybody kept trying to change it. You know, they were trying to do him like they did Wilder. Like, nah, you got to do something different. I'm like, bro, I'm knocking everybody out. What you mean? You know, and it's the same thing. And then he goes out there and he does that, and he does something different, and it looks good. I mean, up until
it didn't look good.
You know, up until that,
no,
the gas tank wasn't there. I don't think the gas tank was there. Oh, God, I felt like he was punch drunk in the second.
I feel like he was throwing a lot of hard shots in the first 3 rounds. That here's the thing about learning something new. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, Wilder is an old dog that got some new tricks in his bag.
Yeah.
But the problem with the new tricks is sometimes you see it working and you continue to overuse it. And I felt like he overused it to a point where he saw that overhand right or that straight right was coming and it was connecting. And I feel like he was putting a lot behind it very early that allowed his gas tank to, let's say, leak.
Yeah.
And leak faster than what he would normally do. And he wasn't all the way there coming into the 9th round. You could see that his legs were a little bit wobbly, especially after that knockdown going into the 5th, 6th, and 7th round. You could see that his power wasn't all the way there like he wanted it to be. And I feel like he drained himself with those punches at the very, very beginning of the fight. Because you could see going on in the fight that he started to revert back to his old ways where he was getting hit a lot and he wasn't getting out the way. And he was doing a lot of hugging, but he was right when you release the two from each other. He was trying to throw that right hand and knock him out, and you could just see that. So I mean, hats off to Wilder in this fight, man. I can't say anything bad about it.
You can't.
I show hated for his next opponent. Fury is a hell of an opponent to the point where he's a big man that has what they say nimble feet. That can move his head, move his body,
that's
get out the way for punches.
6'9", 277 dancing around.
Moving.
Crazy.
Moving.
Let's get into what's next. Because I have a statement about Wilder and the what's next part. Let's switch on over.
Before we get into what's next, man, we got to talk about what's in the bottom right corner right there. Stunting is a habit. Get like us, Habits365 / Trash Talk BS. Get it where you fit in so you can get a 10% discount. And if you want your logo in the bottom right corner or you want us to do anything sponsorship wise on the show, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next topic of the subject.
What's
next, man?
So
what's next?
So look, let's start with Wilder, then we can go to Fury. Because I mean, Fury's got a whole bunch more, dynamic things that could happen. Even though I'm pretty sure there's nothing. So, you're Deontay Wilder. What's next? First off, hold on. Before I even ask that, how brutal is boxing? How brutal is the sport and the people of boxing mainly? In saying the statement leads towards this: 42 wins. Doesn't matter. I get it. Most of the time in boxing, some of those you don't actually start fighting people till you're 20-0. You don't actually start fighting people till you're 30-0. It don't matter. Does not matter. 42 wins. My man lose one time. They like, you're retired. You ain't got it. You terrible. You sorry. And it, like you look at MMA and you look at all these guys that are on top. Some of them got 3, 4, 5, 6 losses. You look at Israel Adesanya, who, has taken that loss to Jan Blachowicz, right?
Yeah.
We ain't out here like, yo, you ain't got it. You got to retire. It's over. If he goes out there and he tries again, or he goes out there and something happens, maybe he loses to Bobby Knuckles or something, That's two. Like a Wilder. Wilder's lost to Fury twice. We're calling for his retirement. We're calling he's done. He's done, son. Like, how brutal of a sport is that we're just willing to, that one loss on your record just absolutely just kills your entire career. Huh? I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense, man. Doesn't make any sense, man. Put 5 minutes on the clock, man.
She
So we can
counting.
talk
She
about this
counting.
now. Man, I feel like Wilder himself, man. I feel like he reinvented himself in this fight right here.
Yeah.
And when I mean reinvented himself, I feel like he's put himself in a different, different realm of boxing. Because when you watch Wilder fight before this fight, you see a slugger. You see a backyard boxer, a backyard fighter who's always waiting for that one moment. And sometimes that one moment doesn't come until late, and he always looks like he's going to lose, or most of the time he looks like he's going to lose because of his style of fight. He's going to hit you with that right hand, and you're going to go to sleep, and then he's going to celebrate afterwards. This fight right here, I seen that he the willing to learn how to box. And even though sometimes watching this fight after the fifth and sixth round, I was like, oh my goodness, when is Fury gonna knock him out? Wilder always has that heart of a champion, and you can't take that away from him. Now, to speak on what's going to happen next for Wilder, you've been at the top. You've seen those below you fall, and understanding that it's the person that's at the top now is somebody that you can't beat. Anything else after Fury is just money fights. That's it.
Yeah.
And the only way you get back on top is either if Fury retires or Usyk or Joshua beats him.
You know what? You know what's bad for. You know what's the worst thing that ever could have happened to Deontay Wilder?
What?
Anthony Joshua losing.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that could have put his name back out there. Because if Anthony Joshua beats Fury,
Even the other way around. Even the other way around.
Yeah. Or if
Fury beats
Fury beats Joshua
and cements himself number one.
Yeah.
We would still sit and watch Wilder
Wilder versus
for
Joshua.
the number 2 position. We'd still watch it.
It still can happen though. It still can happen.
It's a lot of moving parts though.
If Joshua beats Usyk, which I don't understand how Joshua got to the point where he's at now and losing to a fighter he's quote unquote is not supposed to lose to. I don't understand how you train hard, you put the work in, you go into the fight with a game plan, and Joshua's a smart guy. Joshua fights smart, but it just doesn't seem like. So you lost to Andy Ruiz, should have lost that fight. Usyk, good fighter, shouldn't have lost that fight. You get a rematch against Andy Ruiz, you beat him by just boxing. You beat him on points, and then Andy Ruiz doesn't come into the fight being the same hungry fighter he was before. Usyk, you come back, you get a automatic rematch in your clause. You're supposed to beat him. You're supposed to get your belts back. I just don't. It's too up and down for me. So like Fury, he takes it to his opponents. The only fight that he was supposed to win that he almost lost, it was because of a cut. If it wasn't for the cut, then he would have won that fight hand down too.
Yeah.
So I don't. When you elite and you on the top, you're supposed to beat those below you. And the one thing I can say about Wilder is he went to the top. He didn't cross that he didn't get past it, but you could see that through all his 42 fights, it was leading up to him being or fighting somebody at the top. And he fought that person at the top, but he just didn't get by, man. And that's less fortunate for him because I feel like I said in the last Fury versus Wilder that you see on the screen, I feel like if he had another 40 seconds, it'd have been a totally different outlook about the whole situation. But what's your take on it, man? What's your take on it before we get into your boy Fury.
So when it comes down to it, Aaron said in the comments on the Trash Talk page, said Joshua will never beat Fury. I hope they get to meet. It's the most wanted fight over here in the UK. Well, a couple things you got to unpack with that too is that when it comes to your Anthony Joshua, all the big guys we do this, and for rightfully so. You take a loss, everybody wants your throat. They want you to just quit boxing and go live in a hole, freaking do nothing. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So we avoid these big fights so much that they take the chance of losing the big fight, and that's what Joshua did. Joshua lost these big fights. We didn't get to see Joshua Fury. We didn't get to see Joshua Wilder. We didn't get to see that, and that's most unfortunate. Even if Anthony Joshua beats Usyk to come back to fight Fury, he don't get there. But the thing is, we thought we didn't know what to think in the first Fury versus Wilder fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we was all excited about it.
Got magic too. Got magic.
We now have an idea of how this Anthony Joshua Fury fight is gonna go.
Yes.
Takes all the magic out of it.
Yeah. Because we seen two people beat him.
And so look, take this. I hate to put him on the chopping block, but the wild card in all of this, the only wild card I see in all of this is if was trying to get back in the win column, Wilder, and took a fight against Andy Ruiz and lost. And then Andy Ruiz is like, I'm gonna make another run at it. I'm gonna come back. Maybe he beats Andy beats the Murderous Row, beats Wilder first, comes back to beat a Anthony Joshua who beat Usyk. Or maybe he beats him after he fights Fury. But then again, how long is Fury gonna fight?
Fury ain't got that many years left on him, man. Unfortunately.
And what's crazy about it, he 30? He young.
I think he early 30s. I don't know if he's
maybe
30.
32, 30, 32.
I think he early 30s.
But like he's young. But look around. He's looking at a throne, and then he's looking at the first step down to his opponents, and he goes, "Damn, it's like 15 steps before they get up here." Like,
unfortunately,
there's nothing for him to prove.
No.
There's nothing you can say.
No.
There's nothing you can say about him going down in history as like one of the best. And the story from where he came back with the depression, and he was like almost 400 pounds, and come back and he's still marking everybody. If he retired now, would nobody say a word?
No, not a word.
If he retired now, when they say what's next for Tyson Fury, nothing.
There's
ain't even a young prospect. Is there a young boxing prospect that's coming up that we don't know about that could soar to the top of the game in the next year? No, it's only the three big people, and the three big people, two of them have 2 losses. One of which is the Tyson Fury twice. The other one should have taken these bigger fights whenever they happen.
Yeah, man, they were talking about Joshua fighting Wilder 5-6 years ago.
Years ago.
I wish it would have happened then, because I feel like it would put boxing on another level. I wouldn't say on a new map, but a bit on another level. And then with Joshua or Wilder winning that fight, going into Fury coming out of the depression and losing all that weight, and then Fury coming up through the ranks for those 2 or 3 years, I feel like it would have brought more eyes and more attention to boxing, because now you got 3 heavyweights that want to fight each other. So you can only commend Wilder just trying to fight the tops of the tops and fighting Fury, and then just telling himself and then believing in himself, like, hey, I'm just as good as this dude. Even though I lost the second fight handily, I'm just as good. There was some things that happened in that second fight that I didn't like, and there's some things in that second fight that I didn't feel like were fair. And I feel like if I got a third one, I can make it fair. So, I mean, what's next for Fury in my eyes? Money fight, just like I said, Wilder. It ain't nothing but money fights. Because anybody he fights now, other than Wilder, I feel like he's gonna beat easily. The only reason why Wilder has a chance because he has that right hand, and if he can go into the lab before he gets 40 and figure out how to set that right hand up and how to throw other punches to set the right hand up and how to move his body in different areas so that he becomes missing. And then all of a sudden you see the right hand or you don't see it and his opponents fall asleep because of that. All it needs is one caddy to the trick. You know what I'm saying? He's a one trick pony, but if he had a little caddy to go along with that trick, he would be. I think he could have a possibility of beating Fury, but we'll never see that Fury or Fury Wilder 4 because that ain't never gonna happen. Because even Fury put it to bed like, hey, that chapter is already closed and it's never gonna reopen. But it could,
It's a long road to get
it
back.
could if Wilder beats Joshua. I feel like look at this. If Wilder fights Andy, beats Andy. Wilder fights Joshua, beats Joshua. Then we gotta see Fury Wilder 4 because that's who he got to fight next. That's the only way we see that. Only way we see that. But hey,
That's a long way. That's some years.
I feel like Wilder got his 40 million, put it in the pocket. Let's ride. That's
Just
all I'm gonna
throw
say.
it in the bag.
Hey, hey, to become a meme like that, I got 40 million to cry on. Shit, I'm happy with it.
UFC 267 coming up.
Hey man, before we get into UFC 267, man, we got to talk about what's in the bottom right corner. Once again, Stunting is a habit. Get like us, habits365.com/trash talk BS. Hey, get it like we get it. And if you want to get your logo in the bottom right corner, all you got to do is hit us up at,
My feet smell like butter, gmail.com.
hey man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. UFC 267 is right around the corner, man. Hey, what are you looking forward to in this fight right here? Bars.
Oh, man. Just
Did you hit them
watch.
bars though? You hit
Just
them bars though.
yeah. Just watch me sink in my seat for this card. No disrespect to the fighters that are on this card, but at the top, no justice was done. And then to get plagued by the injury bug of sorts is like, damn. Now it's just like, well, we'll do what we gotta do, I guess. Like the the main event, Glover versus Jan Blachowicz. Yeah, I understand. It's the natural progress. That fight, I got it. Hold on, let me pat myself on the back. That fight is like the WBO ordering a mandatory. It's just something that's
It's gotta happen.
naturally gonna happen.
Yeah.
We spent all this time trying to set up these big, money fights and stuff that the WBO was just like, nah. Did my man in line, did what y'all gotta do. And so that's fine. Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira. I hope it's a great fight. But when it's all said and done, yeah, that's your main event.
I'm not tuning in. I'm tuning into the earlier parts of the fight and then I'm turning it off for the main event.
And then you had, for a second there, you had Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Now, I get it. Aljamain was losing that fight up until he won, right? To the disqualification. That's all perfectly fine. That's all well and good. But this entire time was nothing but what? Controversy.
Yes.
You know what that makes it? Exciting to see. Makes it very exciting and interesting. I want to see what's going to happen. First off, I want to see if my man's going to come out and at least do something different to prove that, no, man, I could be the champion. I should have been the champion. I fixed all the bugs and we're good. You shouldn't have thrown that illegal knee, but whatever, Now, the second thing that comes up is like, he gets pulled off the card, his neck. Okay, so now we get Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen, which, again, sounds like a WBO mandated fight. And what's crazy about it is I like this fight better than I like the main event.
Yes.
But still, there's nothing to that fight that is like, yeah, man, these people have been, you know, whether it's like Habib versus Conor McGregor, which is like some kind of hate that's been festering forever, or even if it's like this organic, like I want to call it friendly banter. I don't even actually. I'm pretty sure they're just hyping the fight. Really, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, but they got me hyped. They got me hyped to want to watch it. Not necessarily just because of the implications of that fight, and that fight's gonna be exciting, but they started to talk a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I can get I can go with this. I'm good. You're looking at Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen. I know it's going to be a good fight, but I don't even know why I'm tuning in. And then you go to like the non-title fight is what I'm most excited about. Dan Hooker versus Islam Makhachev. Oh man, they got me.
Oh yeah.
And they ain't even really like talking smack to the point where it's like, man, these people might fight at weigh-ins. It's just a little jab here. It's just a little jab there. That it's a little, praise from the guy on top about Islam Makhachev. Man, his jiu-jitsu grappling might be better than Habib's. Damn it, now I gotta see it. I need to see it. I want to see it. Dan Hooker step in like, what up? I'm about to be his kryptonite. And I'm like, yeah. I want to watch it. Like, I'm going to be at when they come out and let's say Herb Dean looks over and he says, Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the arcade this. You know how you do it when you playing the game? You go,
scoot up in the seat, baby.
Let me go and watch this one. You scoot up in the seat. I'm trying to watch that one. And that's not even close to the top of the bill. That's third on the card. And God, man.
That's my main event.
That's my main event, too.
That's my main event.
And then I'm
tuning in to watch that fight. That's my main event.
Then you got Alexander Volkov versus Marcin Tybura. Good. Again, good fight. Good fight. Jing Liang versus Kazmat Chimaev. Chimaev? Is it Chimaev? I don't mess that up.
Don't worry, somebody in the comment section to get your ass.
Great fight. Great fight. Volkan Ozdemir is fighting on this card. Great fight. But adding all these fights together for a pay-per-view event that I now have to pay for, I'm not excited. We'll talk about this next one coming up later on because it's in November, but let's do some comparison. Ask me about the main event.
What's the main event?
Okay, you got Jan Blachowicz versus Glover Teixeira, UFC 267.
Okay.
268, Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington.
I'm tuning in, baby.
We in.
You got my money, baby. You got my money.
Ask me about the co-main.
What's the co-main?
You got what? Petr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen is the bantamweight title fight, right?
Good fight.
UFC 268. You got Thug Rose versus Weili Zhang.
Oh boy, it was interesting the last time, baby. It was interesting the last time.
I'm there. Ask me about the people's main event, the third one on the card.
What's the people's main event?
You got Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. It's hard to do better than that. Wait a minute. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler.
Ooh.
It's gonna be some smoke in the ceiling.
Somebody gonna get knocked the
Look,
fuck out.
And then you got Sean Strickland versus Luke Rockhold. Oh, they hate each other now. They hate each other. I need to see it. And then you go Marlon Chito Vera versus Frankie Edgar. I'll watch it. I'm there. I'll watch it. I'm there. So it's like that card, even if you took these two cards and like merged them together and took some from here, took some from there, moved them around.
That's what I was just about to say.
I got two solid cards instead of one card that I'm like, yeah, and another card that's solid a damn masterpiece. 268 is a masterpiece. Al Iaquinta versus Bobby Green is on the damn undercard.
But you know what's gonna happen, Sean?
What?
You know what always happens. You know what always happens with the UFC?
Don't say it.
This card right here is gonna be better than UFC 268.
Okay. I'm good with that. It's gonna be a knockdown drag out, and I'm so hoping to be wrong, and I ain't even mad because I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be watching it. I'm gonna watch it all the way up. What they got on the prelim card? See, nothing jumps out at you. You know, you got good fight, but nothing jumps out. Where's the venue that they're having at? Etihad
in
Arena?
Vegas.
No, it's on Yaz Island.
Oh, okay. And the one
Is it in the
260
morning then? Shit.
Probably. And UFC 268 is in New York City, I think.
267 is going to be 2 p.m. and it's in the middle of the afternoon.
Oh.
268 is Madison Square Garden.
So looking at the venue, where it's at, the location, and what time, this card is great.
Which one? Oh, yeah. You know what? And another thing that I'm going to gripe about this, and we can move along. UFC 268, Madison Square Garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What? Why? So is Vegas that big?
It probably is.
Vegas is that big that the main card don't come on till 10 p.m. in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
How? Why? Because I fought in Vegas last week, middle of the afternoon, and it's prime time around here. So why can't we get a little 8 o'clock fight, and then they gotta get up early in the morning?
No, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
why we can't? Why? So in Vegas, I'm saying because we like 10 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock when we was watching the fight last night, right?
Yeah, boy, it was late. No, about damn 1.
It about 1.
Out.
Yeah. They chilling. It was 9 o'clock. They could go do stuff later. They having a good time. We get Madison Square Garden. Shit, New York big too. You know. Let's start this fight at 8 o'clock. So I can go to bed. Cause I'm tired.
Yeah, you're right. You damn right, boy. Cause it was hard getting up this morning after a damn 1 o'clock fight and watching the little after show, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, damn, I need to go to sleep.
I gotta go to sleep.
I gotta get up early.
Like Madison Square Garden big, have it at 8 p.m. What else you got for 267?
Man, that's it, man. I'm gonna tune in, man. But I it's in the afternoon. I might not even tune in.
We'll catch it on the reruns.
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna be glued to the seat. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Got some fantasy football coming out.
Hey, man. Just before we get into the fantasy football, man, we got to talk about the bottom right corner, man. Stunners, habit, get like us, habits365.com/trash-talk-BS for that 10% discount. If you want your logo, anything in the bottom right corner, or if you want us to call your name out of the company or just yourself, all you got to do is hit us up at
myfeetsmelllikebutt@gmail.com.
Hey, man, greatest email account ever made. Let's get into the next part of the show, man. Fantasy football, Trash Talk Fantasy Football League is ongoing right now. Your boy, you're talking right now. The commissioner is 4-0 in the league. About to take an L this week. Let's talk about a little something before we get into some things that's happened this week and something that happened in the past week or so. First place $600, second place $100. Then we got division champ $50. Weekly bonuses. Let's get into the weekly bonuses right now. Weekly bonuses for the previous weeks. I know we ain't been on, so we ain't been having the opportunity to talk about it. But for the weekly bonus, the last 4 weeks, week 1 bonus went out to Don Dunham, my main man that works with me out there at the stadium. Then myself, I won at week 2 and week 3. And then Don won it again on week 4. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of change this week right here. So neither one of us is going to win this week. Looks like Team 4 might pull together a victory where he scores over 200 points this week. Probably the first time in this league somebody scored over 200 points. But right now he has 180.97. I am currently losing. Unfortunately, I am currently losing by 3 with no to play, and I got 1 in play right now. Josh Allen is doing his best to put me on top and keep me on top, but I don't know if it's going to happen. He still has 2 to play. He has 1 playing right now currently. Now, let's talk about your boy, your co-host, his team. His team came through with a victory last week, currently 2-2 in the in his division. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I do what I do. Currently 2-2 in his division. Right now, he has a 19-point lead over Raleigh taking the deck. Hopefully, he can come out with a victory this week, get in the win column again, go 3-2. But let's look at the divisions. I don't have it on the screen. Let's look at the divisions right now before this week ends. Myself, Bobby, as you know, co-host of the Trash Talk Countdown Show, is in first place in the Trashville League. In Garbage Town, Team Hermley, Ross Hermley is number one with a 3-1 record. And then in Scumland, Dylan is a Smitch. The jackass named Jamar Frazier is number one in that division. He is also 3-1 as well. And he is 3-1, about to catch another W this week. And his quarterback scored negative 5.96 points. I don't understand how you still win, but luck may be on his side. And unfortunately, he is a scumbag, and that's why he is in Scumland. So, hey man, that is this part of the show, or no, it's part of the segment in fantasy football. Tune in next week. We're gonna talk about what happened this week, and we're gonna let you know exactly who got their little $25 bonus this week as well, too, man. But Sean, in other news, what you got to talk about, man? In other news, man.
That's all I got for today.
And man, tune in
That was a big
next week.
fight. We did a
It
lot of living.
was. We did. Tune in next week. We're gonna give you our picks for UFC 267. Let you know who we think is gonna win that. We got a couple more weeks before that even happens, and then we may do something a little different too. We may give us some ideas of fights that we might want to see coming up in boxing, because there's a lot of things happening. Um, I feel like boxing is probably on that stalemate again, like they always do. Usually they give us some good fights throughout the year, and then all of a sudden they go through a 2-month hiatus where ain't shit going on, and we don't know what the hell these people names is that's boxing. So I think they need to do a better job of promoting these individuals and putting them out there so we'll know exactly who it is and what they do. Because everybody ain't Deontay Wilder, everybody ain't Tyson Fury, everybody ain't Anthony Joshua. And your name just can't put you out there to make money, but they still make millions of dollars in boxing,
Millions.
which
Stupid.
is which is stupid to me. You don't fight
Stupid.
nobody for 20 fights and you make millions of dollars. That shit's crazy, man.
Right, but
But
look,
that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
it's been real.
Man, it's always real, man.
It's been good,
It's been good tonight.
but it ain't been real good.
Hey, never that.
Look, we gonna come back next time. We can't stay so long.
I holla.
Peace.